So you just got a gaming laptop and you want to start your streaming career, but you don't know where to start, or your stream quality is so bad when you try to stream, nobody wants to watch you. The good news for you is that this video should solve those issues, and in the end, you should have a fairly good quality stream. But before we get into the how-to guide, I just want to remind you that these videos take a good amount of work and effort, so hitting that like button really helps me out, and if you want to support me even more, you can go and hit that subscribe button. I also offer a bit of tech help through my Discord channel and my Twitch channel, so make sure to go and check out those links in the description. Alright, so before we can get into any of the fun stuff, there are going to be some prerequisites that you guys will need to have first. You're going to need a phone that is able to pass video to your laptop. We will go in depth on how to get this working later, but as long as you have a somewhat current phone, it should work. Next, you are going to need something to mount that phone for your webcam. The tripod I'm going to be using is going to be linked down in the description, but if you have something else to kind of rig your phone in a position to be a webcam, that should also be fine. Next, we are going to need a microphone, and this is where most of you will probably have to make a purchase. I'm going to link the microphone I am going to be using in this video, but if you want to spend some extra money on a blue snowball or something like that, then feel free to go ahead and get that. But I think the lapel mic that I'm going to be using is going to be more than enough for what we are going to be doing. Just for the love of God, do not use a headset microphone. When it comes to the laptop itself, we are going to need a couple of things in terms of specs. It has to have a dedicated NVIDIA GPU, and that GPU must be an RTX GPU. Now, these requirements aren't necessary, as there are going to be some workarounds for some of the stuff we are going to be doing, but just understand, if you really do want to have a good quality stream off of a laptop, you're going to need a current gen NVIDIA RTX GPU. Next, I want to set some expectations. If you have a lower end system with maybe something like an RTX 3050 Ti or an RTX 2060 Max-Q, you probably won't be able to stream and play games off of the same laptop. That is just going to be way too much work for the GPU to do. When I was doing my testing for this video, even my own laptop struggled in some scenarios, and it was using a laptop RTX 3070. There are other methods to get some video passed through from a console to a laptop so you can stream that gameplay, but again, doing stuff like playing games and streaming on lower end RTX GPUs is also going to be a struggle. We are also going to want at least a 6-core, 12-thread CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and preferably a wired internet connection. Most people's Wi-Fi isn't going to be reliable enough to have a good stream, so plugging in your laptop directly into your router should give you the best streaming quality and consistency. To start our initial setup, we are going to be installing two key pieces of software, some sort of broadcasting software and NVIDIA Broadcast. For the broadcasting software, I'm going to be using OBS, but if you prefer something like Streamlabs, then the tutorial should also work for that. The links to OBS and NVIDIA Broadcast, along with all of the other software we are going to talk about, is going to be linked in the description. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the setup. Let's start off with getting our webcam set up. I'm going to be using my iPhone 12 for my webcam, and to make the video pass through so my laptop can use it, I'm going to be using Epoch Cam Pro. Epoch Cam Pro is an app that costs $8 on the App Store, but there is also a free version that will put a watermark on your camera. I would start with the free version, and if you end up liking the software, I would probably move up to the Pro version for the extra features, but both of them should end up working the same way. Next, because I'm using an iPhone, I will need to install iTunes so that my computer will recognize my phone when I plug it in. I will also need to install the Epoch Cam drivers from the Elgato website so the software from my phone will be recognized by my laptop. Next, you're going to want to turn on your phone, open Epoch Cam, and have its back cameras on and facing towards you on the stand behind your laptop. Now turn on the flash so that you have a bright light shining at your face, which is going to help with the picture quality. Now we are going to have to set up our camera in the NVIDIA Broadcast software. Open up NVIDIA Broadcast and go over to the Camera tab. For the input bar on the top left, we are going to select Epoch Cam Camera. Now, your video feed should show up in the window to the right. Next, depending on what you want, you can choose some effects that you want on your camera. For our use case, background removal on the performance setting is going to be best so that the video just can kind of focus on us. You can use other settings if you would like, but I would make sure to turn on the performance mode just because we're going to need as much GPU horsepower as we can get. Next, we just need to go over to OBS and add a new video capture device source. You are going to want to select the source that has the text NVIDIA Broadcast next to it, and now you should have your webcam with no background being outputted to OBS. Next, let's move on to audio. First, all you're going to need to do is plug in your microphone, and just make sure when you go into sound settings, the mic you are using is on the list of input devices. Once you have made sure that you know your mic is being picked up and you know what source your mic audio is coming from, you then need to go back to NVIDIA Broadcast and go to the microphone tab. Next, you're going to want to select the mic input on the drop-down box on the left, and then go to the bottom left of the page and turn on noise removal. You can adjust the strength of the setting based on how loud your laptop fans get, since that is the main reason we are enabling this feature. But for my use case, putting the slider somewhere in the middle works fine. Now we need to get our mic into our OBS scene. It is going to be very similar to what we did with getting our video into OBS. We are just going to make a new audio input capture source and select microphone and video broadcast. Now, if you want people to be able to see what you are playing, we are also going to need to add in a basic display capture source. Just make sure this source is the lowest one on all of your scenes, because this should be the base layer while everything else should be on top of it. To stream what we have, we are going to need to do a bit of performance tuning. Since we aren't going to have a whole lot of computing power compared to a desktop gaming machine, we are going to want to optimize our game and streaming settings. Go to your settings tab and select the stream output section. Make sure you can see what you see on my screen. If you don't, go to the top of the page and change your output view to advanced. For our streaming encoder, we are going to select the NVIDIA NVENC encoder, and for our resolution, I'd recommend that if you have some lower end hardware, you set this setting to 720p. But if you're just going to be doing IRL streams of you watching videos and doing non-compute intensive tasks, or you have a really high-end laptop, you should be fine to set it to 1080p. We are going to want to select CBR for our rate control and 4500 for our bitrate if you are streaming at 720p. And if you're doing 1080p streaming, set your bitrate to 7000. Just leave your keyframe at 0 and set the quality preset to high. Next, we are going to need to go to the video section in our settings. We want our base canvas resolution to be the resolution of the screen of the laptop. It should be the highest resolution you can select, and for our output, we are going to select whatever resolution you picked on the output page. For our downscale filtering, we are going to go with bicubic, and your FPS values can range from 24 to 30 FPS, but I would go with 24 just to reduce the load on your machine as much as possible. For those of you who are just going to be doing IRL streaming, this is pretty much going to be the end of the video for you. All you need to do now is just get your stream key and press the go live button. But for the gamers, there is still a bit more tuning we are going to need to do. When it comes to games that you can play, it's going to be somewhat limited. Esport titles that are easy to run and get high FPS are going to be your go-tos. CSGO, League of Legends, Roblox, Minecraft should all be safe, but you're going to need to make sure you boot up the game first and turn down the settings to low or medium and limit the FPS. The lower you set your game settings, the more room you give OBS to make a better stream. So it's going to take some trial and error. You're going to have to see what games are fine to stream and what games aren't, and it's going to be different for everyone because we are all going to be rocking different hardware. But like I said, it's just going to be a lot of testing and balancing. You are also going to have to customize the stream yourself to give it your own look, but there are tons of other videos that do a great job explaining how to do that. Once that is done, just get your stream key from whatever platform you're planning on streaming from and go to town.
All right, so this is just a little demo of my stream setup on my laptop. I think it looks fine. In general, there could be some tuning to be done with overall visual fidelity. But again, I really don't think you can ask for a whole lot more, especially if you're doing this off of a laptop and you're playing on the same system that you're playing your games on. Again, if you're doing something like just doing IRL streaming and you're not playing games, you're not taxing the system this bad, then you can tune your visual fidelity up a lot more than what this probably looks like right now. But because we have a game running and we're also doing a lot more encoding stuff with NVIDIA Broadcast and with OBS, it's just a lot of work for the system to do. Now, a couple things I want to highlight here. While I'm talking, you probably can't hear any of the fan noise that's going on, which is a great thing, mostly because that is what we want to look for, especially since the fan speed is probably at like 100% right now. On this laptop. The thing you guys probably want to keep track of is the fact that when we are using NVIDIA Broadcast for our webcam, there are going to be some artifacts and stuff like that in the background because the algorithm isn't perfect and it's not going to be able to always detect what's background and what is you. So I think the best move for doing this background removal technique is just going to be to stay as still as possible. So the NVIDIA Broadcast software really doesn't have to do as much work as it's doing right now. But yeah, all of this is just being recorded straight off of another computer. So everything that you guys are seeing right now, all this audio that is coming through is exactly what the user is going to be seeing and what they're going to be hearing on the stream.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope your streams turn out great. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comment section below or take a look at our Discord, which should have a lot of people willing to help you out. Again, I also stream fairly regularly on Twitch, so go and give me a follow at my link down in the description. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, and if you want more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.